So she said she might take a week off. That was it. No drama, no frustration, no urgency, just calm, routine, almost casual. I'll probably take a little break. But here's what nobody stopped to think about. What happens when the most valuable asset in a professional league reminds everyone, calmly, that she doesn't have to rush back? Because this wasn't just about rest. It wasn't just about soreness. It was about control. The season that changed everything. For months, we watched something unprecedented unfold around Caitlin Clark. Arenas that used to struggle for attendance suddenly sold out. Road games turned into national events. TV ratings spiked. Merchandise backordered. Broadcast schedules shifted. And at the center of all of it, a 22-year-old rookie who was supposed to quietly adjust to the league. Instead, she bent it. The WNBA had operated a certain way for decades. Financially modest, structurally rigid, culturally protective. Within weeks, that structure felt pressure it had never experienced before. More eyes, more money, more scrutiny, more expectation. And with that spotlight came tension. Let's be honest. The contact didn't always look like normal rookie initiation. It looked intentional at times. Late bumps, hard follow-throughs, extra physicality. And what stood out wasn't just the fouls. It was what didn't happen after them. No major tone-setting moments. No overwhelming institutional protection. No clear, we're safeguarding our investment messaging. Meanwhile, the league was using her face to market everything. That contrast mattered. Because when a league's growth accelerates around one player, the optics of protection matter just as much as competition. And here's the uncomfortable part. The league clearly needed her. But did she need the league the same way? On paper, her rookie contract is standard, fixed scale, no flexibility, no superstar exception. Normal for a rookie, but this isn't normal rookie. Her off-court portfolio lives in a different universe. Global endorsements, major brands, 8-figure conversations, independent media gravity. When your endorsement ecosystem dwarfs your league salary, the dependency equation changes. She's not surviving off a bi-weekly check. She's building an empire. And when a player becomes financially independent from league structure, leverage shifts quietly. Because now the question isn't, can she afford to stay? It becomes, does staying maximize her? That's different. Then came the 2024 Summer Olympics roster decision. She wasn't selected for Team USA. Officially, experience, fit, long-term development, reasonable explanations. But perception doesn't live on paper. The most visible women's basketball player on the planet wasn't included in the sport's biggest global showcase. And she didn't explode, didn't complain, didn't criticize. She accepted it calmly. And calm could be louder than outrage, because calm signals awareness. It says, I see the hierarchy. And once you see the hierarchy clearly, you adjust your strategy accordingly. Now, let's bring it back to the Indiana Fever. When you draft a generational talent, the blueprint is simple. Build fast, protect aggressively, align structurally. But at times this season, it felt like Indiana was still in project mode while operating in superstar reality. The offense that made her iconic was pace, spacing, deep range, freedom. Yet, sometimes the system felt compressed, cautious, measured. When a generational scorer starts hesitating instead of attacking, identity gets diluted. That's not just about wins and losses. That's about vision. Is the franchise matching her trajectory or asking her to slow down to match theirs? That's the real tension. Here's what makes this different from past superstar stories. There was no public trade demand, no explosive press conference, no chaos, just performance and evaluation. And evaluation is powerful because when she casually mentions taking a week off, it doesn't sound like fatigue. It sounds like reflection. Reflection leads to questions. Is the system built to maximize me? Am I protected physically? Is this organization evolving at my speed? Those questions don't need to be spoken publicly to carry weight. Front offices feel them. Leagues feel them. This is modern sports economics. There are emerging leagues, private investors, overseas opportunities, Media-driven hybrid roles. She doesn't need to leave. The option to leave just needs to exist. Optionality is leverage, and leverage doesn't require rebellion. It requires independence. For decades, professional sports operated under one truth. The shield is bigger than the player. But every once in a generation, that equation flips. The ratings follow the individual. The sponsorships orbit the individual. The narratives form around the individual. Control flows toward attention. And right now, she controls attention. You can't bench gravity. You can't find gravity. You can't outvote gravity. You either orbit it or you get left behind. This isn't about whether she stays. It's about whether the league adapts. Will officiating tighten? Will roster construction accelerate? Will protection become proactive? Will future CBA negotiations reflect market reality? Because once a player proves she can move markets independently, she stops being just an employee. She becomes a stakeholder. And stakeholders don't operate on blind loyalty. They operate on alignment. When she said she might take a week off, it wasn't dramatic, but it was revealing. It reminded everyone of something simple. She operates from choice, not desperation. And in modern sports, the person who operates from choice holds a real power. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think the league fully adapts to this shift? Or is this tension just getting started? Drop your thoughts below. And if you're here for real analysis, not surface headlines, subscribe. Because the next move won't be loud, but it will matter.